Ready, kids? Hey everyone, this is Jesse from Janjo, and I'm just gonna jump in and say,
Wait, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, because that helps me upload more videos and know that you like content like this.
I gotta talk about Spongebob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Now, for those who've been around my channel, I've been keeping up on the game since they announced it. I've been talking about the collector's editions, and the fun editions, and the multiplayer, and I've been really keeping up because I've been really excited about what this game has to offer. And really, can you blame me? I think I've talked to death in my previous videos about how excited I am for this new remake of an old game, because it just absolutely surprised me that they would even remake a SpongeBob game of all the games they could remake. You know, things like Crash Bandicoot, Super Mario, but no one really expected SpongeBob. People were less surprised of a Bubsy remake than SpongeBob, and that's kind of crazy that we see a Nickelodeon game get remade like this. It's quite honestly very interesting in that regard. I was really excited about it because this is a game that actually does hold up very well and definitely deserves to be remade. It has held up very well, gamers and critics alike. People loved it when it came out. People still play it to this day, even within the speedrun scene. So when they announced the remake, I think everyone was on board on the ship of, yeah, let's sail to this because this is gonna be fantastic. I don't know how often I can do the nautical themes, but you know, I'll try my best. So poop deck. So yeah, SpongeBob Squarepants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. There's been similar sequels. I haven't really played them myself, but I played a little bit of the original game, and that's obviously the one we're going to be talking about today. Well, the Rehydrated version that just came out today, and I actually got a copy to play a little bit early, so purely my reviews. So let's try this game out. So I jumped right in as soon as I could. I was really excited because when I was able to play it, I was at work because it was my, well, it's supposed to be my weekend, but you know, I had to fill in, so I got home in my break. I'm like, all right, let's try it out. And so I had to download it, wait for install, and that thing took longer than my break was, so I didn't get to play it till I got home from work, so it was kind of late. But I knew one thing is that I had played this game, and I was not disappointed when I finally got to pop it in. Well, pop it in as in turn on my PS4 and press play. Now, the game is absolutely beautiful. I think you can tell just how beautiful it is. Comparing this to the PS2 version, it's like night and day. This looks like something that was made specifically in today's era, and I know it kind of was, but it looks like something that isn't just a remaster. It looks like a full-on, let's just remake the game, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. You look at areas like the beaches and jellyfish fields and everything, and it's mind-blowing how nice this looks. This is a game you could really get yourself lost in the graphics, and I don't say that about a lot of games, especially a lot of games nowadays. The graphics are good, but this just has so much detail in it, and not in a realistic kind of way, but in a very fantasy kind of, it absorbs you in the environment kind of way a lot of other games don't really get, and that's really cool that this game has that visually speaking. Now, there are some graphical issues, I'm not gonna deny that. Sometimes when certain stages are loading, you can see it load. Like when you enter jellyfish fields, you can constantly see different textures pop up, and I think that's kind of disappointing because you expect that from the PS2 days, not in late PS4 era. However, I will say in regards to that you get really short load time, so you kind of take it where you will. The gameplay is really great. Let me just throw that out there right now. Gameplay is fantastic. It feels like the original game. It's smooth. You feel like you have total control. You have enough movesets for the characters. Obviously, you can unlock movesets, but early in the game, you still get a good amount of stuff to do. You can attack normally. You get a aerial attack. You get an attack that you shoot up, and there's a lot of variety in it because you can play as 3 different characters, which is SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy. They all have their own kind of shtick. Like, for example, SpongeBob's a normal character, but Patrick's the heavy one. He can lift objects and throw things, and that's kind of neat that is a thing he can do. So when you're playing the game, it feels so good. You feel like you can really do whatever you aim to do. Now, there is an issue with just the look of everything in regards to, it's kind of hard to tell what things you can go on, what things you can't, because a lot of times you see this area and you're like, oh, I can try and go over there, and then all of a sudden a hand pops up and says, no, you can't go there, you gotta go somewhere else, go to Panda Express drive-thru or something, but you can't go here. This is a no-go zone. I say to myself, why is that? I kind of get, because that's not really part of the stage, but it looks like it is, and has gotten me a couple of times, and it's kind of annoying when you see certain things and kind of want to explore, maybe do a little parkour in the game, and you just can't quite do that, and that kind of sucks. But if you keep on the path, then that's fine. There's plenty of stuff to do on the path, plenty of stuff to collect, because, well, this is a collectathon game. You really don't see that kind of stuff nowadays, and seeing a game comes out now and it's still great like that is a great thing to pick up and play if you miss those kind of games. A lot of times we get similar games. We get Mario Odyssey, you get Ukulele, but they're far and few in between. So if you're looking for a game like that, then definitely try Battle for Bikini Bottom. Now, the voice acting is also really good. Spongebob, Patrick, Squidward, they're all done very excellently.
Where are your other socks?
Well, they're more lost. A bunch of robots came through here and stole my whole sock collection.
I'm not sure if it's the original voice actors or if they're people playing them, but they sound very, very great. What doesn't sound great, on the other hand, from the characters I've noticed so far, was Mr. Krabs and Mermaid Man. Now, it's been a long time since I played the original game, so I can't say for certain if it was like that in the original, if they just copied certain vocal assets over, or if they just completely redid them. I'm not entirely sure.
SpongeBob, this flapping robot crisis is making the Krusty Krab lose money like a sinking ship.
But Mr. Krabs and Mermaid Man sound particularly different.
Oh, no. I think it had something to do with massaging my feet.
Not necessarily in a good way. It sounds like they're a parody of what they should be. Mermaid Man sounds way different. Mr. Krabs, at least you can kind of tell what they're going for. And I kind of wish they got the original cast, because this is making me have a weird nightmare of some sort of dystopian future where they make a new SpongeBob cartoon and they change the voice actors, because I don't want that to happen. They're already making that CG and that shouldn't even exist to begin with. But regardless, most of the voices are going to sound good. Sure, there are a couple that sound off, and they do definitely throw you off, because most people playing it will know the voices. Most people, 95% of people in the world, know what SpongeBob is and kind of know what the characters sound like, so it definitely sounds kind of weird. Other weird thing is that every time I hear Plankton talk, I can't unthink of that one YouTube video where they swap Perfect Cell's voice with Plankton.
I've got bigger fish to fry. I've got to figure out how to regain control of the chum bucket from those robots.
I hope you know what I'm talking about, but that's definitely something I keep thinking of. This is definitely a game that I want to keep playing. I definitely want to just keep jumping back into it. I definitely would have played more if I didn't want to get this review out as soon as I can, because I want to let you all know what my experience was. And yeah, it's great. It's the music, the graphics, the controls. I can't say enough good things about this. Sure, there are some weird quirks here and there. I think depth perception could have been better. There were some times when I had some issues with that. But again, all in all, this is a fan-freaking-tastic game. I'm so glad they remade this. This definitely makes the original PS2 version obsolete, especially the fact that you can get this on Switch, so you can play it on the go. So if you want to do that, that's great. But also keep in mind that the Switch, you know, has a kind of a limited storage supply. But I did play this on the PS4, for those wondering. But you can't get it on Xbox, you can't get it on PC, on Steam, on Switch, really anything. That kind of seems to be the motto for most third-party games nowadays, that you can get it on everything. And the fact that you can still get this on the Switch and play this on the go is a great way to experience the game, and I can't imagine it looks any worse than the PS4 version. I would imagine. For what it is right now is that SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom is definitely a game that if you haven't played it, or if you're curious about checking it, or if you're just a fan of SpongeBob Spongebob or collectathons or platformers, then you definitely need to go and get this game. It's definitely worth the money you're paying for it. It's definitely worth the even nostalgia trip for that. It's definitely worth just for a good game. It's definitely something that I want to see more really good Faithful remakes, and we've seen stuff along these lines, things, you know, in Crash and Spyro. But I've mentioned this before, but I still want to see more games get this really HD full overhaul for 3D games per se. I know we're getting some 2D games like the Alex Kidd one, which I've made a video on that as well. But I love to see other games like this. Man, Klonoa 2 I think would be great, because Klonoa 1, we got the Wii version of that was kind of like a remake. Klonoa 2 is also fantastic. And there's a bunch of other games I could go on for days talking about. Gex, Enter the Gecko, etc. That game needs a whole bunch of more fixes. Let me just tell you that right now. Let me know what you think about this game. Let me know on my Discord or on Twitter or in the comments or pretty much wherever you want. I may stream this game. I'm not sure. We'll find out. But if you're into live streams, I do live streams weekly. I got memberships for that. Get some cool badges, get some cool emotes, swag yourself out. And let me know if you get this game. Let me know if you like it. Let me know if you just appreciate that they did this in general. And let's keep talking about it, let's keep discussing about it, because I like talking with you all. So that's all for me. And of course, until then, have a nice day.
Why don't you move to another town? That should help out more than enough. Move to another town. I cracked me up.